welcome to episode 40 of the Talk Nintendo podcast.
40.
I am one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and alongside me tonight, the one, the only, Perry Burke.
Putty Tat Trouble Part 6.
I liked part 4 better, but,
yeah.
6 has its merits.
That would be the first track of the Carl Stalling Project. Music from Warner Brothers Cartoons, 1936 to 1958. A great CD. It's actually really fun. You get to hear the guy conducting the Looney Tunes music, and it's insane. It's like it's because it's all to the animation, so it's like, and he'll like stop everyone and be like, no, it's not. It's crazy. It's fun.
I'm gonna say something. I never really liked the Looney Tunes all that much, to be completely honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, like I remember when they come
sense.
on.
You like Pepsi too, so.
I do love Pepsi. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever they used to come on, I feel like, I guess Nickelodeon at some point aired them, because that was pretty much the channel I watched growing up. But I don't know. It was just like, Looney Tunes, you know.
No, I don't know at all. Actually,
I was like, give me a Doug Funny, give me some Rugrats. Give me the, I
like Doug.
I was a Nickelodeon man growing up.
Rugrats always scared me.
Scared?
The art style, yeah, always. It was just creeped me out. Couldn't get into it. Too scary.
Do you like Rocko's Modern Life?
I never saw that ever once. I didn't have cable.
You poor boy.
I wasn't.
You poor boy.
I know. I wasn't a rich kid from Long Island.
Well, I'm definitely not rich, but I am a kid from Long Island, and we had cable out here.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
How's it going, Casey? You just got back from a sweet gig, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I went to the, I don't think it actually had a name. It was just a New York Nintendo event, a press event, where they set up schedules for us to go in and check out all of the E3 games and stuff, which was really cool.
So you basically got to go to your own private E3 without tens of thousands of people crowding around you.
Yes, and I got to hang out with Krista from Nintendo Minute and Sam from the Treehouse. I think I sent.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you know who Sam is. I feel like she's one of the more, like, her and Audrey are, two of the more vocal people on the spotlights
she's usually leading a bunch of those. The
demos,
Treehouse Lives.
Yeah, and she was really cool, actually. She is a huge Metroid 2 fan, which came in handy because I got to play Metroid Samus Returns. Ooh-wee!
That's amazing. Well, we're gonna talk a lot about that for our feature, for our whatever we call it, main topic today.
We're teasing them.
But first, we're gonna get into what we've been playing, and I'm gonna start that with a little game called BoxBoxBoy.
Yes, BoxBoxBoy, the BoxBoy series.
The what?
The BoxBoy series. That's a good one.
Yeah. This is the second game. This is one I didn't get when it came out. Like I said, I wasn't like. It was weird. I was gonna get it, and then right when I was about to get it, they announced the third one and the physical thing and the amiibo in Japan. I was like, okay, I'm waiting for that. And then we got it, and we didn't get it. So I was like, okay. And then there was a sale during E3. It was $4. So I was like, giddy up.
You were going ham on those E3 sales, huh?
I got
games.
that and Mario Kart. Yeah.
No, that's with me, I played the first one, and then I played the third one for review, and I bought the second one when it came out, but I got like halfway through, and I feel like I was just trying to rush through it or something, and I got a little burnt out. It's definitely a game I want to revisit at some point, but would it be worth the revisit, Perry?
Oh, man. So Yeah, the first Box Boy, I liked it. I was never head over heels for it. I was never like crazy about it. I'm glad it came out. I like the idea of the characters. I wasn't too big on the animation, on the simple. Well, I like the idea of simplicity. I like the the idea that this could be on the Game Boy. I love that. I like the concept. I don't know. Something didn't completely click with me for some reason. I wish I could figure it out better, but I'm so glad I took a lot of time away from it, because getting into this, I quickly realized how much I love this game. This game is really, really fun. The mechanic this time is, instead of having one set of boxes that you can make, you can have two sets. And that concept scared me from the beginning, because because even the first game at the end, like, to get the crowns was pretty dang hard.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those crowns can be brutal.
Yeah. So I was like, man, like, to add in like a second set of variables like that, to where, oh my goodness, like, what are they gonna do? Like, I was kind of like scared that it might be too hard. But they are, the way it's set up is just brilliant. I mean, I love that it's basically, each level is basically 7 or 8 mini levels, like micro levels. It's like you go into a world full of 8 levels, and each level is like a level full of 8 levels.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a platforming puzzle game. And you make boxes. You just kind of make them, jut out of you, and you can make different shapes, like almost like tetrominoes, and then you learn the physics, and it teaches you really cool. And there's so many different things you can do, like, like you can stretch out the box and then jump onto a cliff and then pull yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can you can be on a cliff and then push yourself out to grab something, and then pull yourself back in. Like, you can actually just push yourself off without falling, and you're just trying to make it through each level, and it's really cool. It has a setup to where if you make a mistake, or if you're going and you want to redo it because you're using up too many blocks, then you can hit L and R at the same time, and it just bim bam boom. It just strikes you right back with your original count of blocks that you have. Now you want to save your blocks, because the system is there will be crowns hidden through the levels, and you want to somehow, all you have to do is touch them somehow, like grab them. But if you use too many blocks to get to it, they'll disappear. So you have to be careful. And
are you a crown perfectionist?
Well, you know what? I am, but it's really not that hard. And it's pretty fun, actually. Like I think getting through. I think probably my favorite thing is trying to be as efficient as possible with the blocks anyway. So I love that it's that challenge is in there. There's like a reward for doing that, and I think that's great.
You get extra coins, right?
And
it fills out on the stage select, like, oh, you got all the crowns. Nice little little visual cue.
Yeah, it's nice, and I think that, and plus it's helpful because they are tougher to get. Like, they're not easy to get. Sometimes they are. Like, sometimes it's like, okay, you've made it this far. The challenge was getting it this far without these blocks. You've made it. Just grab it. But sometimes they're just in really hard places. And the thing is if you do those, you figure out new mechanics. You figure out how to use it, and new tricks, and then that help you with all the rest of them. So, it's just rewarding in every sense of the word. So, I just absolutely loved it. It's such a great pick up and play game. Play a few levels and then put it back down. And that's what I did with it until I beat it. I loved it. I gotta check how many hours. There's no way there was a lot. It must have been 2 to 3 hours maybe.
Yeah, they're like a nice sized game because there are definitely quite a bit of puzzles in there that's going to keep you busy. Like you said, if you were to sit there and just, I'm going to plow through this game, you could probably do it in one night, especially if, you do give up on and like, oh, I just want to complete it, like I don't necessarily care as much for the crowns.
Right.
But,
Oh, yeah.
But if you're going
I don't think you'd
100%
want to.
crowns, there's definitely a pretty good amount of content there to keep you busy. And what are they, $4.99? I think.
I don't know. I should know. I thought they were like $6.99 or $7.99 or something like that. Or some of
I
them
can
are
let
$5.99
you know
maybe.
in just a moment. They are. Drum roll, please.
I think they're separate. I think they're different prices too.
$4.99 for BoxBoxBoy.
Oh, okay. So it was $1 off.
Yeah, so that's. I mean,
Good.
$4.99.
So grab my attention.
Is a nice price for
it's
what it
so
is.
worth it.
Because, like you said, it's and they're cute little puzzles, and they're not super duper difficult. Most of them, like you said,
they're perfect.
If you give up on the
great.
crowns, like you can get through a level relatively easy, and the hint system I think works out really nice as well. Now, do you think was this enough to bring you back in for a quick play of the Bye Bye Box Boy, or do you think maybe you'll give it some time, maybe pick it up on a sale and get around to it eventually?
I think that time makes everything better, and I think that giving it a little space for the next one will just help me appreciate the next one even more. So I'll probably just wait for a sale and grab it, and then that'll grab my attention too. So, it's great. I love the game. I can recommend it to everyone. And I have to mention the music is fitting in with the aesthetic too. Is ultra simple, but it's so awesome. It's so nice, and all the little sound effects are great. I really appreciate that. Like it's relaxing. There's something about when you're playing puzzle games, it's nice to not be overstimulated with like crazy music.
Yeah, I feel like it should complement the game. Like the gameplay needs to take forward, and especially since it requires critical thinking. Like you said, you don't want to have too much clutter going on where it's gonna actually deter from how you operate.
Right. But yeah, that's BoxBoxBoy. Pick it up. And anyway, this next game we're going to talk about is one I've been talking about, playing, like crazy.
I too have been playing it, and that is the recently released re-release of an older game that was, I think, free at one point. And that is Cave Story Plus. Plus version. I believe this is the first Plus version, right?
I have no idea.
I feel like the Switch has been getting the Plus treatment.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what that all means, but yeah, Cave
Story.
Story.
The only thing I can find was the music. Was you can like choose from different music to play. And when one of the options was Cave Story Plus, but I really don't know what the other changes are. Anyway, continue.
Well, all I know is that Cave Story Plus music is out of this world, but we'll get into that
goodness.
A little bit more in a minute. Now,
it's so good.
Is this your first time playing Cave Story?
Okay, so I got it when the DSiWare when the shop launched on 3DS.
Okay, so you were in it.
Yeah, and but I don't know why. I don't know why I could not get into it at the beginning. It's so weird. But I just couldn't. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I didn't really understand what was going on. So I just I played maybe 20-25 minutes in, and I still haven't. And I have literally missed every single. The 3DS remake and then the other 3DS remake. I didn't get those because I was like, I have it on my DSiWare. Like it's, like I'm not gonna.
Yeah, not
I'm
gonna double
buy another
dip.
one.
Yeah.
But then, but finally it was like, okay, Switch. I can play console. I can play on the go, and of course, it's physical, and it comes with this CD and a manual, and it's just like, and it's so cool that this happened, and I just, so that's why I got it. That's why I picked it up finally.
They're like, we need to get Perry on board for the double dip. How do we do it, boys? And they're like,
what are we gonna do?
Let's throw in that adorable GameCube music soundtrack.
Yeah. you put it in your GameCube, and it's a cave story on GameCube.
Could you imagine? That would be freaking rad.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that GameCube. Well, I mean, we have news of an original SNES game being released this year.
A
so
Nintendo first party.
Yeah, so why not a GameCube game as well? But we'll get into that a little bit later too. Yeah, for me, I've never played Cave Story, and I know it's been one of those games that has, pretty highly touted history, ever since it's come out. Obviously it's gotten a ton of different re-releases, and I mean, if they're gonna keep re-releasing it and people keep buying it, there's got to be some sort of good game behind it, or at least you'd think. So I was like, this seems like a good time to get in. Like you said, I love the added little bonuses, the little manuals, and in this instance, we got the soundtrack as well. And if you'd went to GameStop, which I didn't do, I believe there was an extra bonus where you could get like a little keychain. I think there was like up to 3 keychains, and then like a little pouch. So they're doing the bonus little extra goodies for the physical releases, which is something I really appreciate as someone who generally prefers to go physical rather than digital. I don't mind paying a little extra if I got it, and they throw in a little extra bonus. Works for me.
Yeah, it's great.
But
yeah, the manuals are great.
Oh, I know, and they're so colorful and like art in there, and it's just.
Oh, and have you looked inside the cave stories? It's awesome.
Oh no, I know for sure.
It has like hints and like puzzles and like for you to do to figure out stuff.
Oh no, it's
awesome.
It's brilliant. I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
So for me, like I said, so this was my first time really getting into it, and I really honestly didn't even know what to expect. Like, I knew there was platforming and stuff and shooting, but that was sort of the extent of it. But I gotta say, it's like right off the bat, I enjoy it a lot. First and foremost, like as I said before, what really jumps out at you at first is just how good it sounds. I mean, like,
yeah.
Really, really good. Like, I'm humming these songs in my head throughout the day. When you go into a building, like where save is, like, oh, that tune is so nice. It's just like, And now, this game was originally made by just one person, right?
Yeah. I think it was designed and written by Daisuke Amaya.
Look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants, being able to pronounce his name perfectly.
That's not perfect.
Shh. If no one knows.
If it is perfect, then you are the true master for knowing it, that it's perfect.
I like what you did there. I'll take it. No, but, I mean, so I guess the story is, like, you end up in the ground here in the cave, and then you sort of stumble across this little town full of bunnies. What are they called? Mimigba or something?
Mamayas?
Mimima? I don't know. Mimiga, I think, right? Is how it's Miga. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Mimigas is how I said it in my head.
Mimiga. But yeah, they're super duper cute little rabbits, and you sort of find out, like, you get into this town, and they're like, oh, we've got this one person locked up in the building here, they won't come out. There's a doctor on the loose that's looking for, a certain person, and you're like, what is going on here? And, you slowly start to learn a little more as you continue out throughout the story, but eventually, you get to the point where it's like, you want to find this doctor, and I don't want to get into too much without spoiling it. I know it's a super old game, so probably a lot of people have already played it. But, the story is good enough to keep me engaged. And like I said, the characters are so cute. Like you don't want them to get hurt, So it's like I'm on board with saving these little rabbit people.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of characters. It's a very secluded game,
Yeah,
like
it's
a
tight
cave
knit.
story
Yeah.
should be.
Now, would you consider this sort of like a Metroidvania? Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say it's a Metroidvania with adventure game elements,
Yeah. Okay.
It's a Metroidvania adventure game.
Yeah, because like I said, like generally I don't love Metroidvanias, but I'm really, maybe I'm taking a turn on the genre. Maybe I actually do like them, but I'd really like.
You do.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, then you heard it here first, folks. Now, what's cool is you start off with like your gun, but it actually gets, as you kill enemies, they either drop hearts. One of your items is like a rocket launcher or some sort, so you get missiles. And then
just like Samus.
And they also drop little like triangles, like gold triangles, which are experience, and your character doesn't level up, but your items do. However, if you get hit, they lose experience and they can actually level down. So
it's such a cool system.
Oh, I love it. I think it adds so much because, you continue to unlock new items as you progress through the game. So you can, hit your bumper on your controller to sort of, toggle between different ones. Now, if you're going through an area where there's a lot of enemies and you're probably going to get hit, you might actually want to plan what item or what weapon you're going to use going into that situation based off, like, okay, I generally like to use the machine gun fully powered up. So I don't want to risk getting hit and maybe losing that top level down to a tier or two below it. However, if you do kill all those enemies, generally a lot of experience ends up falling down. So it's a nice balancing act. It's not so much that if you get hit, you're going to be screwed over, where like, I'm never going to get my level back.
And like also, let's say you get a new item or an item that's leveled down, you can use a better item to shoot everything and then switch over to your other weapon that's leveled down and grab all the experience for it.
Yeah, I really, really, really like how that works, because
it really is a cool system.
It really shows you too, like, how powerful the guns can get. For instance, I talked a little bit about the machine gun. When it's level 1, it's just pretty small pellets. Then
I don't know if you want to spoil this.
No,
it's pretty. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right. Well, let's
know what I mean?
let's just say that level 3, it's really awesome, and that's the gun I generally use almost like, unless if there's a situation where it's like, okay, this part of the game might not require, but like it's sort of hinting at using a certain item, But for me, like that's sort of my default item. And when you get it up to the top level, like it could do some cool things that, I'm sure obviously it was intended to be done because it's put into the game, but you can use it in different ways,
Yes, it's really awesome, and on top of that, like you get just upgrades to yourself throughout the game. And I mean, you say you don't level up yourself, you don't, but you do find health upgrades. So in that sense, you do upgrade. You know what I mean?
Yep, and missiles too, actually.
And missile upgrades. So yeah, it's just like it really is just like Metroid. You get missile upgrades and health upgrades. Yeah, it plays amazing on Switch. It's so nice. Because I think that because of how you shoot up, down, left, right, that the analog stick on Joy-Cons when you play in handheld works great for this platformer. I mean, it feels really the physics in the game feel really nice and floaty, and not floaty, but like not finite to where, I don't know, like they just feel really comfortable and good. I mean, like they feel like more like Mario than they do Metroid for sure. When you're walking around, like it's not just a kind of a standard jump and whatnot.
Yeah, no, the platforming feels nice. And now I guess we could sort of transition to just how brutal this game can be, though.
Oh man,
There are just
right? Because
times, yeah.
it has the tropes of old school gaming, but it ages so well because it's where a lot of it is, the save points are hard. And sometimes you'll make it a long way and then die, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Oh, I know, and it's
I
like,
cannot believe I have to go back. And I just was facing a boss today, and it was like impossible to get to him and then beat him. And it was just like, yeah.
and I feel like every time you die, like in that situation where it's been a while since you saved, it's like, oh, I know if I had just got past that one little part, I know
Yep.
there was a save on the other side of that freaking, hole
Yep.
or enemy or whatever, you're looking at.
Exactly.
And it's like, but to be honest
but
with
it
you,
totally pushes you.
yeah, I was going to say, to be honest with you, generally, obviously you have that moment of like, but like I generally enjoy going back and redoing those sections.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
just the combat with all the enemies and shooting it, I find very enjoyable. So I don't honestly mind it too much when you have to go back, but I do make sure that anytime I pass one of those save rooms, I make sure to save now, because it could just be, like they have some spiked areas where it's an auto kill. You have some things where it's like, oh, you need to get up, but like there's some blocks that you could sort of explode, to break open to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden there actually be a heavy item on top of that one block, and it comes down and just crushes you, and you're like, oh.
Yep. Yeah.
You're like, seriously,
I know.
bro?
I know, and it's like stuff like that usually is like, oh, this is bullcrap. I'm turning this game off. But it's just not like that in this game. It's like everything is so quick moving, and like you can get back to where you were pretty quickly, and just the gameplay, like you said, itself is just fun. It's fun to jump around and shoot things. It's fun to pick up upgrades. It's fun to tackle things in different ways.
And I feel like I don't know if I've unlocked every gun. I don't think I have. I think there's at least one or two more surprises out there for me. But the guns that we have, or that I have unlocked at this point, have been really, really fun to play with. They're all like pretty different from one another, so it helps keep it fresh. When I do switch off that machine gun, it feels fresh to use those other items, and especially there's situations where I'm like, ooh. All right, there's a little secret right there, and like you can see the enemies blocking the path, and it's sort of a weird angle where it's like, oh, I'm gonna probably have to jump up there, and I might get blasted. But then you look at it and you're like, oh, maybe if I use this other gun, I can actually sort of angle it off a wall here, and then it worked.
Yep.
Perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it feels
exactly
super, super satisfying when you see something like that, and you can sort of utilize the tools at your expense to bypass something that might have otherwise been sort of difficult.
Yeah, exactly. And it surprises me that this game came out in 2004 on PCs. I mean, so this has been out when the GameCube was out, when the GameCube was in its prime was when this game came out. Which, doesn't that...
I'm looking at all of the releases, like...
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Original version.
You should run through them.
Yeah, original version for the PC, December 2004. PSP, July 2007. Nintendo Wii, March 2010. Nintendo DSi, November 2010. Nintendo 3DS, October 2012. Cave Story 3D, November 2011. Oh, that's weird that they're sort of out of order there, but that's okay. And then Cave Story Plus, 2011 in November 2011 for PC. Then Nintendo Switch, which is also Cave Story Plus, June 2017. So for 13 years, over the course of 13 years, this game's been pumped out quite a few times, and I can actually see why though. It just feels good,
Yes, it ages well. I mean, I would never think, like, this game could come out right now, and I would not think this is an old game. I think this is a really fun new game.
And it's crazy to think
it's great.
it was just a one-man project, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure, obviously, now there's probably a few more people working on the port and stuff. But like originally to have it done is pretty crazy. Although I'm looking at screens of the 3D one, that's sort of bizarre to look at.
Oh yeah, like the one that was made for 3DS.
Yes, Cave Story 3D.
Yeah, I gotta look at those. I remember that came out and that was like a big flop, and I think it's like a really sought after physical.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a
release.
limited release. Because I'm pretty sure it fetches a pretty good penny.
Would you look at that?
Are you
Man,
looking?
I would love to get that game. I would love to get that game.
Well, it could be all yours. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, here you go. Cave Story 3D cartridge in custom case is $17. Brand new and sealed, $44.
Oh, $17 though?
With like a knockoff replica case.
Oh man, I think it looks awesome. And if it's in stereoscopic 3D, dude,
there you go. Buy it now.
Awesome. I gotta get it.
Buy it now, $20 loose cart.
Yeah, I gotta have the case. I'm not a savage.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of games from eBay, how's Corey in the House coming?
Dude,
Don't think I didn't forget. Don't think I didn't forget.
Sitting on my table, still in the package, just taunting me.
Play me, Perry. Play me. Corey.
I know.
Corey's in the house.
Yeah, I know. Corey is in my house. But yeah, I was thinking that I'm gonna brand that "I demand you lost a bet" edition.
Fail version.
Yes. But yeah, Cave Story. I would absolutely recommend it. On Switch. I think that $30 for a physical game and for this game is completely fine. I think it's totally worth it. It's a game that I will pick up and play over the years, so it's really great to have physical. And it's like literally one of the only games where I'll actually will take that CD and like burn it onto my computer and listen to it because the music is so cool and so good.
Yeah, the music, like I said, really, like, that's what stood out to me. I mean, aside, like you said, we've sort of been singing its praises here, and I think it's warranted. But the soundtrack, if you don't really want to pick up Cave Story for Switch, or, you've played it before, I don't know how different the Cave Story Plus soundtrack is to previous versions, but you should definitely at least, pop on YouTube and check out the OST, and I'm sure you will not be disappointed.
All right. Well, let's take a little break, and when we come back, it's time to giddy up, if you know what I'm saying.
Giddy on up to the Nintendo eShop. Alrighty, we are back, and it is that time of the week again, boys. Kick it!
The eShop Roundup. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Alrighty, and I'm gonna throw it over to my man Perry. And why don't you tell us some good Wii U download games?
All right, sounds good. Now, yeah, there's one game that came out last week. It's called Daikon Set, and this retails for $0. So this is a free game that was released last week on the Wii U. And it's 3 games based on first generation home consoles. It's a set. That's why it's called Daikon Set. And it looks like Atari games. It's pretty cute. Like the description on the site, on the eShops, like there's like little stories for each one. It's like this intergalactic space guy has found out that civilization, and it's like you look at the screenshot, it's like that is a square and a rectangle. Like, where is the story coming from? But yeah, whatever. I mean, like, if that sounds interesting to you, it's free. So why not?
It's sort of, would you say it's sort of akin to Retro Game Challenge? Like a very primitive version maybe of that?
No,
not at all.
I wouldn't say it's that good.
Well, not necessarily that good, but that sort of similar idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a throwback for sure to like Atari.
Who likes Atari though?
I don't know, man. I don't know at all. I'll play Pong maybe. But man, wasn't there an Atari version of Super Mario Bros? Have you seen that?
I think so, right? It was really janky, I believe.
Yeah, and it was like side scrolling, like it wasn't smooth. Like you went to the end.
It was like
of
screens, right?
Yeah, screens. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think
kinda wanna play
Atari
that.
couldn't, like the Atari chipset or how whatever the insides didn't allow that like nice solid scrolling.
And Donkey Kong was out for Atari too. Isn't that weird? Like Nintendo games.
And I'm pretty
There
sure
were
that
Nintendo
one
games
was
on
terrible
Atari.
too.
Yeah, they're all terrible, except for ET.
Dude,
right,
that's so funny because that was the game that I was thinking about.
Yep.
The GOAT.
Well, I'm gonna toss it back to you because we're done with the Wii U and we're getting on to the 3DS.
Long live the 3DS. We actually have a pretty strong little release week here for the 3DS. We have RPG Maker Fest, and that is actually, I guess, you can make your own RPG on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Now
Full retail price for $39.99.
I've heard pretty lukewarm things about this game. But if you are interested, make sure to check over on Nintendo World Report. Matt West wrote the review, and you can check out his thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the price especially because apparently there's a bunch of DLC that you have to buy if you want to do a lot of the custom cool stuff, which I think is pretty much bull crap for a full price release.
Dude, is this Aqua TV 2.0 right now? They gate that good.
I don't know if it's a that's sweet content. Our RPG Maker Fest is Aqua TV 2, the sequel to Aqua TV.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's pretty high praise actually. But the cool thing is that you can also download on the 3DS an RPG Maker player for $0. You can play games, like anyone's game can upload and you can play. It's like, okay, so the 3DS has officially an endless supply of RPGs. Kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that I'm glad that they allow you to play other people's for free, Like, it'd be a bummer if it was like, oh, you can only play this game if you spent the $40 on the maker itself,
Yeah, it makes complete sense, for sure.
But I could also have seen them be like, well, sorry, So I'm glad that was the route they decided to go with.
But DLC, man. Interesting. Moving on to a better place.
An oasis, one might say.
Yeah, we have Ever Oasis on that 3DS for $39.99. Casey reviewed the game for NintendoWorldReport.com.
Yes, I did, and I'm not gonna spoil my whole review there. If you were listening last week, you heard me talk about it. But let me just reiterate: this game is fantastic. I think you should, definitely check it out. I mean, I know $40 is, it's a full price game, and not everyone can throw down that money, on a whim. But it is a really good game. There is a demo available that, if there's any interest, check out the demo. I actually haven't played the demo, but I've heard a lot of people say they've played the demo and it sort of persuade them to actually go pick up the full game. So definitely worth it checking out. Really, really good stuff from Grezza.
Nice. Well, it's time to switch over to the Switch. Downloads. Yeah, we have two of them here, two new ones.
Now, if you were thinking, boy, I could sure use a good old-fashioned 2D fighter on my Switch, good thing we've got Neo Geo, because yet another 2D fighting game is coming out for the Switch, and that is Fatal Fury 2, checking in at $7.99, your standard Neo Geo price, 85 megabytes, nice and tiny for you, and this is the second entry in the 100 Mega Shock series. Again, Legendary Men return.
That's what it says. That is what it says again. Legendary men return.
Now, and
What the heck does that mean?
and I'm looking at the screens, and there's this big fat guy in overalls and like a big green puffy winter coat.
Yeah, and he's a legendary man?
I mean, he looks pretty good, man. And what's this? I see a woman. I was told that this was men. Although it looks like Mia is kicking the crap out of Joe. Both figuratively and literally.
It looks nice. The game looks nice, though. I mean, like let's not put aside the fact that this is a well-produced game. It looks nice.
Yeah, no, the backgrounds are nice. Yeah, but that's sort of the Neo Geo's thing. They generally all look pretty darn good, you know?
Yeah, let's not put aside the fact that people paid $200 for this when it came out.
I know, when I was doing that Neo Geo research, I was like, I cannot believe how expensive these were. Because, I don't know if I actually ever touched on, like, the little bit of history of Neo Geo on this podcast. But real quick, it was just, Neo Geo, what was nice about it for the arcades was you'd buy one cabinet and you could switch the games out. So it would make sense for an arcade to be like, oh, well, like, okay, we've got the cabinet, which costs probably a couple $1,000, and now we could just buy, I could buy a couple $100 or $200 games,
okay.
And, like, that works.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
I really didn't realize that. Okay, that's
But
really
here's
cool
the
then.
thing. There was also the home console version of the Neo Geo, which emulated the arcade experience at home, but the game still costs that much. So
yeah, they're probably the same games.
yeah, so from a home perspective, it didn't make really much sense at all for being that expensive. But in the arcade, it makes sense because if you're an arcade owner, instead of buying a new cabinet every, I don't know how often, a couple months, years, whatever it was, instead of throwing a couple $1,000 on an arcade, it made sense to be like, oh, well, I'll just buy a game and just switch it in,
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I'm sure they had great. Well, I know they had great success because they were releasing them for like 30 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say the year is 2017, and we're continuing to get a flood of Neo Geo games.
Exactly. Yeah, cool. Well, next up we have a new release on Switch, coming from mobile iOS platforms, which is really surprising me looking at the game. Yeah, we have Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas.
It's crazy. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
It's just crazy to me that this was once a mobile game. Like, it looks so good.
It does. It looks really good. I would never have guessed. And it doesn't, I don't get how you control it. It's $14.99, 280 megabytes, which is actually really impressive too. Because this is like an asymmetric, or isometric, sorry, like Zelda-like game where you're kind of going around and fighting and solving miniature puzzles, and you're sailing. It has total Wind Waker vibes. Like, even the soundtrack. If you watch the trailer for it, the soundtrack is just like
Zelda.
parodying. It's parodying the soundtrack from Wind Waker when you're sailing, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing to do.
I was gonna say, I don't think they tried to hide the influence it got from Zelda, So, at least I feel like at least it's not trying to hide. Like, no, this isn't a completely original game with, like, we didn't borrow ideas from anyone, Like, I feel like they've sort of embraced the, like, yes, we know it's a Zelda clone, and, I've never played it. I've got loose interest in it. Maybe when it's on sale. 15. Not that 15 seems like a bad price.
Yeah, 15's a good price for sure.
But to me, if it dropped down to like 10, I might be more interested.
Yeah.
Because from what I hear, it's just like an unpolished Zelda. Like, not from a graphical standpoint, but like the puzzle. It's not Zelda game. Like, it's trying to be like Zelda, but clearly it's not hitting that Nintendo mark of, how polished and great everything is. But from what I gather, it seems like varied opinions across the board. Some people seem to really love it. Some people seem to really hate it, and then then there's everyone that sort of falls in the middle.
Yeah, I know Adam Abu Nasser reviewed it for NWR, and he gave it a really good review, and he liked it a lot.
Yeah, he seemed pretty positive.
And then for a bona fide, if you want a bona fide opinion, good old Dan bought it, and he told us that it was really nice, and he liked it a lot. So,
but we don't care what that
just...
Jim Brony thinks.
Joining us for one game today on ARMS.
Yeah, and we both just our buddy, we were playing a little ARMS this morning, and Dan joins in, and we just in classic Casey fashion, I say, should we take out this Jim Brony? And sure enough, we double teamed him, beat him down, and then he left, and
we let the real boys play.
We've never heard from Dan again.
No, actually, he did text me. He said that he was on lunch break.
Oh, okay.
and like he was just surprised that we were playing, and he joined in, and he couldn't do anything. But
that is so funny.
It's just so mean, so mean. Okay. Well, speaking of good old Dan, it's time for the
Villainy Discount. Villainy Discount.
Yes. Welcome to the Villa de Discount. Enjoy your stay. We have a great deal today. You might say we have a discount. And this is actually this is breaking new ground because this is on Switch. The first game on sale on Switch. And
it's a doozy.
It happens to be a really good game.
And that game is Snake Pass. And the best thing about this discount is it's not a measly 20% off. It's not a measly 30%. It's a 40% off discount, which is pretty huge considering the game's only a couple months old.
Super huge. And it originally was $20. It's now $11.99. Such a great deal. Such a great game. I wish that game was physical. Man, I wish that game was physical.
Yeah, you know what? I know this game came out on other platforms too, but to me, it just has that very Rareware kind of feel to it. Like, it just feels at home on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, it does.
You know, so it's $11.99. That's a really good price. I reviewed this game when it came out. I really liked it. I know some people don't love it because the controls are a little, it definitely takes some getting used to. I mean, but that's sort of the purpose of the game, is like,
that's the whole point.
Like, hey, you're controlling a snake, which isn't easy, but we're gonna pop you in some really cool, beautiful environments, and you're gonna, just do some collecting and get to the end of each level. Yeah. And I really like this game a lot.
Oh, me too. It's one of my favorite Switch games, and it's a perfect fit for Villa de Discount because it's like so relaxing, and David Wise's soundtrack for it is so good and so subtle, and so it's perfect.
And to be honest with you, it's a great summer game. Like, to me, this you're mostly in nice tropical treed, jungled areas, and I don't know, just to me, seems like a nice summer game.
Just reminds me of some good old-fashioned leg blood circulation and beanbags.
With all this talk about arms, baby, it's really about them legs.
Well, I think that'll do it for the
Villainy Discount. Villainy Discount.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Villainies.
But we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back with the news.
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Alrighty, and let's get into some hard-hitting news. Although we've got some hard-hitting news here. The first subject to talk about is Tumbleseed, a game I reviewed actually for this site as well. A lot of games I reviewed we're talking about this week.
Ever Oasis, Snake Pass, Tumbleseed.
Makes me sound like I'm like a
BoxBoy.
Yeah, it's like, man, this guy reviews like a monster. But anyway, the game devs came out, and I guess they sort of laid it all out there on the line that the game really didn't perform as well as they'd hoped by a long shot. And you can actually check it out. They did like a little post-mortem thing. But some stats that came out are that only 0.2% of people actually beat the game. And only 1.8% actually made it to the fourth and final biome. And while only a mere 8.3% crossed its midpoint to the desert region. So it seems like a lot of people that played Tumbleseed ended up giving up pretty early on. I did not beat the game. I did make it to the final biome though. Like, I made it, I think, 3/4 of the way up that final biome, but it was just like so hard. And I think when you actually,
I thought you beat it.
No, I think actually when you get past that final biome, there is actually like a boss on top of that. So it's like the game is just brutal. And it's just it is a really tough game, but I thought, it's pretty fair when you get used to the controls. Like, they throw a lot at you, but I never thought it was so bad. Like, I never felt slighted, like this game screwed me over, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, okay, this game gets really tough. But in light of all that, they've made, or they will be making some changes. The update is not out yet, but I know they're going to make the earlier biomes much easier so that, you could sort of, like, the big thing is sort of setting up your run, making sure you have enough resources, crystals to get what you need, power-ups and hearts-wise. So if they make those first couple biomes easier and get you in a better position to succeed later on, there are actually going to be, I guess, the two biggest changes are there are going to be new modes that aren't procedurally generated. So then this way you can sort of memorize the layout of the mountain. And, then this way, no matter how far you get, you're learning every time, because you're seeing something you haven't seen. And, next time you play it, that you're going to be prepared, opposed to, obviously with it being random. It's just sort of adapting on the fly. Another change is they had daily challenges, which, as you would imagine, is just one run every day. Top score, is the winner. You can only do it once, so, sometimes you just get a bust run and you don't even get off past the first biome. Sometimes you make a good run. Now it'll be weekly challenges that'll remain for the entire week, and it is no longer a single playthrough. You can actually replay it. You can go online and watch people actually, if they upload or stream it, you can sort of get an idea of what, how other people are tackling it, that might help you. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a shame that this game sort of didn't pick up, because I really enjoyed it. I think the play style is so unique, with sort of having a seed rolling along like a straight vine and operating it that way. But you never picked up Tumbleseed, right?
No, because like I said, I was kind of choosing between Thumper and Tumbleseed to play, and then you got me Thumper, and what really put me off was the bullcrap executions that you can get, like where you'll just like won't something just like randomly like explode and you'll just die?
There would there are certain holes that explode, but if you're looking, you can see that there's like an enemy like faintly in it. And you'd be like, oh, if I go near that one, it's going to explode. Like, it wasn't just completely like, oh, boom, explosion, dead.
Gotcha.
But, like, if you weren't looking in that hole, you probably wouldn't be able to, you know what I mean? Like, if you weren't paying attention to it, like, it's easy enough to pass over. But if that's what, like, okay, there is a possibility there could be enemies in the hole, like, I need to look out for that. And then you start to realize, okay, I can't go over there because one's going to explode. Or you can, like, sort of get in range, trigger it, and then just bounce back out of there real quick.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah.
Well, and I think it's $15, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah. Definitely on my radar. Definitely, I'm probably just going to wait for a sale on this one, just because I'm already swamped with games already, so there's no point in picking one up and you know. So.
Yeah, I wonder if they would maybe coincide the patch with like a 20% off. You know, like hey,
Yeah,
like
See,
come,
that would be good. That would be a good thing to do.
like
on
come
Switch
check
for
it
sure.
out, guys. You know, we
then I
know
would
it's a
get
little tough. 20% off. Boom, boom.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's really cool. Another update. This is kind of breaking news, but there's an Mario Kart 8 Deluxe version 1.2 available now, and it fixed like tons of stuff, like a bunch of little stuff, no big stuff, but like stuff like communication errors no longer occur frequently.
I like the sounds of
while
that.
spectating and after spectating. Just a bunch of different stuff like there won't be two piranha plants at the same time. People who are behind in online matches will get items, better items to get caught up.
That sounds good for you.
You're the Jim Brony. But yeah, so check that out too. That's nice. So, speaking of updates.
Speaking of updates, again, this isn't an actual update on an already released game, but it's an update on a game we've been eagerly waiting for.
Oh baby.
And that is Chicken Wiggle. We have learned it's going to be $15, and I know Jules had submitted it last week, and he said he got word back that he had to make a couple little things, but nothing serious. So hopefully, he'll be getting that submitted again, and hopefully
he got it submitted. Also, he already submitted it. So, yeah, they already got the changes made. The fixes.
Perfect. So hopefully,
they said in a couple weeks, they should have, hopefully they have information to share about the release date and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm hoping it. I would love for it to be a quick turnaround, maybe come out sometime in July or August before, because I feel like once September hits, man, it is going to be a whirlwind of games coming out. Like September stacked. The end of August, we got Rabbids, we got October's Mario. So, I would still definitely find time to play it, but I would much rather, if maybe that could kick off the flood of games.
Yeah, I'm thinking, July, has Miitopia, New 2DS, and Hey Pikmin. So, that's kind of a big month for 3DS too, so. Yeah, fun. I really hope it gets done, Jules.
Now, this next little bit of information is actually breaking news as well, come from the investors meeting.
Oh, cool.
And why don't you take this one?
Yeah, 66 million units.
Surpassed.
Now what do you think? The Wii U?
Is that the number of Aqua TV sales?
Yeah, no. 3DS has sales have surpassed 66 mil. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. That's very significant. No wonder they're releasing a new 3DS 2DS XL system.
Family of systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Can you believe that?
That's fantastic. 66 million. Hot damn.
Man, there's the original 3DS XL, 2DS, new 3DS, new 3DS XL, and new 2DS XL. There's 6 different 3DSs.
When's the 3DS Micro come out?
Oh, I'd be all over that.
Me too, man.
Help us! Help us!
And out of those 66 million, only 500,000 are accounted between Perry and I.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently the software sales are on firm ground.
I'm glad.
So, yeah.
You never want to build the foundation on uneven soil.
That's right. You gotta build your house upon the rock. Yeah. All right, but now it's time for the best news ever that came out of nowhere. Oh, baby.
Yes. Now, this has been rumored.
So much fun.
And I guess we never got to jump on like every other podcast in the world and do our own Super NES, classic dream list.
We should, though, but now there's no point.
Yep, now we know exactly what's on it. So this came out the other day, and I mean, it looks great. First and foremost, cute little Super NES. Instead of
does it, Casey?
super cute. Now, instead of 30 games like the NES Classic, this one is going to have 21 games. 21 games.
No, 20 plus 1.
20 plus 1 games, and it's going to be $20 more expensive. It's going to retail for $79.99.
Kind of expensive. It's kind of the same price too.
Well,
when you factor in that there's 2
controllers, yeah.
Controllers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Especially if you're putting in scalper prices.
Oh yeah,
for the controllers.
Well, then then it's like more like $799.99. This will be available September 29th of this year, and I'm gonna read you the games. Now, how should we do this?
I'll give you a giddy up, giddy down.
Okay, I like that. Super Mario World.
Giddy up.
A classic. Super Mario Kart.
Giddy up.
A classic that Perry just played. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
Giddy down.
Get out!
No. Giddy up. Probably one of the best games of all time.
F-Zero.
Giddy up.
Super Metroid.
Oh baby, giddy up.
Those are 5 pretty big games right there. Then we get into Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Meh, never played it really.
Super Punch-Out.
Interested in it. Oh, never played it.
Ooh.
Either.
See, I
can't wait.
I've played Super Punch-Out, but I don't know if I've ever beaten it. So that's gonna be a good one.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever beaten any Punch-Out. I beat the Wii one, but not like the hard mode.
Yeah.
That it unlocks after. It's impossible.
My dad's beaten Mike Tyson in the original one.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's like his video games go-to.
You have the coolest dad ever, brah.
Bruh. Super Castlevania 4.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm gonna give a giddy up for you on that one. That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Donkey Kong Country.
Woo-wee. I'm glad they now this is I wish they put the other 2 on, but
yeah.
It's just the first one.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised at least 2.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
3 would have been great too. I love 3. Anyway, yeah.
Then we've got Mega Man X.
And I'll let you give the giddy
up. An
up.
Unbelievable giddy up.
Yeah. And that's another one where I wish the second and the third one was on.
Honestly, I've never even played those. Don't care. Mega Man X, the original, man. Woo-wee!
Well, wouldn't you want to play them?
No, I know. I know it would be nice to have them on there, but I'm just glad to have X.
Yeah.
Then we've got Kirby Superstar, which I think this is sort of similar to like the Mario All-Stars, and like it has actually like on the box 8 games in one. So
yeah. I've played it. I just recently played it on DS. It's not. I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's too easy. There's nothing. It's a beautiful looking game and it's super cute, but it's just.
But isn't that all Kirby games to an extent?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Now this next one right here, Final Fantasy 3. It's
interesting.
It's a game I've never beaten, and I actually got it for Christmas on this at SNES. So I've got the hard copy. But it'll be nice to actually be able to play it on this because it's sort of like a portable because it's so tiny I could bring it with me. Although, I guess really I'm getting an apartment with Caitlin, so now I'll have my games with me all the time.
Exactly. Now, is this Final Fantasy 6?
Yes, this is Final Fantasy 6, and then localized. It's the one that I know a lot of people will say, Final Fantasy 7, is sort of like the mainstream favorite. But a lot of people think this one is actually better.
Yeah.
Now,
I might actually play this one.
This is a game I'm definitely going to play. It has been on my to-do list for way too long, so this is definitely going to be a game I'm going to play. Yeah,
you play Chrono Trigger and that in the same year.
And I'm playing Super Mario RPG, but we'll get into that in a second. Then we got Kirby's Dream Course. I can't really talk much about that.
Yes, I've heard so many good things. I remember TYP talking about this game and a lot and loving it. I think loving it. Maybe I just remember him talking about it, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, now we'll be able to try it out.
Yeah, in glorious HD.
Then we've got Star Fox, bringing that
Oh, yes.
Super FX chip, baby.
Casey, did you know that they had a sequel to Star Fox, like, completely done in 1995, but they didn't release it because it was so close to Star Fox 64 that they just kind of canned all their 3D games?
Yeah, it's really quite a shame.
Star Fox 2, can you believe it? And it had like you can like the chicken walkers in it, and it had like strategic elements, and
Yeah.
it was really cool.
Yeah, it's a shame we never got to see that. The
Yeah.
next game on the list here is Yoshi's Island, which sort of had like a chicken walker thing when those little Shy Guys were on those pogo sticks.
Oh baby, yeah. And you know what? Do you know how long it's been since I've played the original version?
Oh, it's
Like,
been forever
It's been
for me.
Yeah, because the only version I've played is the Game Boy Advance version.
Because I'm
Because
pretty
that's the only
sure.
one you can play. Like,
Is this a Super FX game?
yes,
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Because they've had
the touch
issues.
fuzzy get dizzy.
They've had trouble porting the Super FX chip games, right? Like
Well,
or
that's what-
emulating them. Like that's why.
I'm assuming that's what it is. Yeah, that they have. Yeah.
So this
But-
is promising that they're loading us up with some of these games that maybe if the
Yes.
Switch Virtual Console ever becomes a thing, we could be rocking
Yeah.
and rolling. But now the next game here we got Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars.
I cannot wait. I said I was waiting for a
3DS.
portable, but I'm gonna play it on this. For sure.
Ironically enough, for the Patreon exclusive game club on NWR, this is the game we're playing this month. So I'm actually currently playing this on my Wii U as we speak.
And how do you like it?
Oh, it's great. Great music. Really, it's fun to see like the beginnings of like the Mario, like Paper Mario, action commands, for lack of a better
Yes.
word. Like the timing
Yep.
actions. So it's fun to see where that came from, and it's actually a really comical game. The very funny dialogue and some fun bosses and really cool environments.
Cannot wait to play.
Next game we got here is Contra 3. Great game.
All right.
Great game. I love those Contra games.
Yeah, I never played it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it.
Yeah.
The next game here we got is Secret of Mana, and I am so pumped to play this game.
yes. Yes, me too.
Now-
I'm gonna play this game.
This is probably going to be the second game I play on my SNES Classic.
What's the first game?
We'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
Next game we got here, Earthbound. Another
Yes.
heavy hitter. Lots of really good RPGs on this system right here, or on this little console, I should say. Great stuff. And
One of my favorite games.
the 20th game on our list is Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Interesting. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a game I am very interested in playing.
Yeah, that's
I hope it's better than the NES one.
yeah,
The
that's
ghouls, ghosts and goblins.
that might be a game I'd check out, but I don't know how much I would actually play it. But who knows? Maybe like you said, maybe it's actually better than
Yeah, I'm hoping it's better. We'll see.
maybe they stepped up their game a little bit. Now that
Yeah.
brings us to the end of our 20 games. But as you alluded to before, there's a +1, isn't there, Perry?
I this is news to me. I don't know.
And 1 + 1 = 2. And 2, as in the second Star Fox, for the first time ever, is getting a
Star
release
Fox 2.
in 2017, the greatest game in year of Nintendo's history.
Yes, I think this cements it. I think that we've just officially, yeah. I mean, even though what pushed it in was this and the announcement of Metroid Prime 4, I still think that this is the best gaming year with Zelda, with Mario, Splatoon 2,
ARMS.
Ever Oasis, ARMS,
Dude,
as-
so Xenoblade 2 is going to... Oh,
Xenoblade 2,
dude, it's just
I know.
freaking bonkers. But
new Pikmin game,
Star Fox 2 in 2017.
a new Star Fox game. Make no mistake, this is a new Star Fox game, mainline.
It's the
with
game.
the title.
It's the game everyone wanted last year instead of Star Fox Zero.
Yeah.
Although I didn't mind that game. But
I love Star Fox. I did like Star Fox Zero.
But yeah, I mean, so that's the 21 games. As we said, $79.99 available September 29th, 2017, this year, just a couple months from now.
Let's go.
Now, Nintendo has said that, I think Nintendo said, or somewhere I read that, they've sort of learned from the, NES Classic debacle. So hopefully it will be better stocked. I don't think it's going to be perfect. I think there's still going to be shortages, but I think it's going to be available, readily available, more so than the NES Classic. I also think the SNES sort of has, I don't want to say it doesn't have as much appeal. I just think the target audience is a little different. I think NES is enough where, like, anyone, oh my god, old NES, cool. Like,
I don't know, man.
And I think...
I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think the SNES is going to resonate more with more serious gamers, which obviously there's a ton of serious gamers too, so I think it's going to be tough to get. Way,
it's going to be sold out, so.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to get our UK pre-orders in from Amazon.
Yep.
So we'll potentially get the slightly sleeker model in comparison to... I mean, I do love
the American model.
Oh, me too, man. I know people think it's ugly, but sign me up.
I don't. I think it's great. I mean, it is ugly, but it's good ugly, And
now Nintendo. Well, guggly. Yeah. You're nothing but that Jim Brony's real guggly.
Yeah, he's ugly, but good ugly. Guggly Jim Brony.
Now, I know Nintendo's come out and said the wire is going to be longer than the NES Classics, but I think the NES was 3 feet, and I think this is going to be 5 feet, so you pick up I guess it's almost double, but it's still, on the shorter side.
Yeah.
And they've already said that this is only going to be in production through the end of 2017.
Yeah, they've already said that.
So if you think about that, it's only going to be available for 3 months, and it comes out at the end of September, so really, October, November? Yeah, 3 months.
Man. Whew. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're already ahead of it by saying that, because when it came out, there was nothing like collector's limited edition, and it was like, oh, these things are going to be everywhere. That's what everyone thought, right?
Yeah. And
and then it wasn't, and then it was like, we're done. That's it. I'm going fishing. We're not making any more, and it's just like, what? Like, why? Look on eBay. Look at what people are making off your things. You could be making that off your things.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
Sick.
I mean, maybe they're thinking like, hey...
Creating a buzz, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely creates a buzz, and this year... just think of it. This will happen to at least someone. They're going to go in because they really, really want their SNES Classic, and they're going to go, oh, no, it's sold out. I guess I'll take a Switch. That's going to happen.
Yeah. If they would launch it with... If there's a virtual console thing, I mean, how cool would that be? Like, if they could launch it alongside and be like...
Yeah, you can get your dedicated box, or you can get your Switch with it all on there.
And then you get a download code for Star Fox 2 on your Switch.
I was actually going to ask you, do you think once the Switch's virtual console comes to life, assuming there's going to be SNES games on there, which I think if we do get a virtual console, I think is a pretty safe bet.
That we're asking that question.
I know.
Sad.
6 months ago, I'm like, they've got to talk about it in the presentation.
Oh, no, dude, they're totally going to do it. They have to. I don't know, Casey.
All right.
Yeah.
But do you think they will release Star Fox 2 as its own download?
Oh yeah, for sure. If they're gonna come out with, I know that they have this mastered version that literally no one has played. Like, I was Dylan. Is it Dylan Cuthbert? Is that his name?
I believe. I believe so.
Yeah, he was talking about it and how, like, yes, there's a version out on the internet that people can play, but it's not the final localized like debugged version, and there's still a bunch of changes and stuff. So
Yeah, I believe.
How exciting, man. How freaking exciting. Like, even if it's not the best game in the world, like, I know it's not, but it looks fun, first of all, and it's a Star Fox game. And they're talking about Star Fox again. Like, that's so much fun.
Yeah,
like, I thought,
mean,
okay, Star Fox is done.
I just think it's cool. 20 years. That's what I sort of liked about what was that game? I can't believe I'm blank. Oh, Kuru Kuru Kururin for that came out on the Wii U. Remember that? It never come to America, and then they released it on the Virtual Console. I love when Nintendo does that. It's like, and this is ramping it up to an even, to nth degree in the sense like, hey, this game has never been released, but hey, pick it up. 2017, baby. Woo!
I know. The last game ever released, it's like a Super Nintendo game released after, the Wii U. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yep. Well, that's enough news and information for now. Let's take a quick break, come back, and we're going to talk about this New York City event that you went to today.
This Newark? Not Newark, New Jersey. We're in New York City, baby.
New Donk City.
New Donk.
So, Casey.
So, Perry.
I heard you went to a fun little press event today in New York City.
New Donk City?
In New Donk City, yeah. And you got to play all those E3 games that we were frothing at the mouth for. Like looking at the people, the crowded halls of E3, going, I wish we could be there. Or I wish I could have my own private party where Nintendo came to me and showed me all the games.
Yeah, it was pretty cool,
man.
Dude. Yeah, so this was my first, I guess, press event or, media event. And, I was super stoked to be honored. I was honored to actually even be able to go. So, we went into the city today, and that's actually, we're recording a day late so we could talk about it. And, we get in there, we check in. It was weird. The desk, like looked at my ID, and then they had, like, a little webcam and, like, took a picture of you. And then, like, the elevators had, like, little bars. Like, you ever go, like, through a toll on, like, a highway or something where they have that bar, and then you do your Easy Pass or whatever, and then they'll let you through? It was sort of similar to that, to the elevators. I'm like, this is weird. So we go up and we like go into this office and like there's people all over. I'm like, what is going on here? And
so who was it? Who were you with?
I was with Neil Ronahan, Jared Rosenberg, and Justin Berube from All Nintendo World Report. And we went up there and, after a minute of waiting around, they're like, all right, we're ready. Come on in. And we go into this, it's a pretty small room. And who's the first person I see is Krista from Nintendo Minute. And I'm like, oh my, I was like I said, I don't really know what I was exactly expecting, like who would be there, but
right.
I don't know, for some reason I wasn't expecting that. So I was like, oh wow, like this is pretty cool. And then
is Reggie here?
Yeah, Big Reg comes through, dude. I would freaking lost it. Like, oh my god, just fangirling like so hard, like. But
can I touch your body?
Yeah, please. My body is so ready, Reggie.
My body is Reggie.
And then the next person I see is Samantha, Sam from Treehouse. She is one of the main people, I'd say. Her and Audrey, I feel like, are the two more main vocal people that sort of step up during the demos to talk about it. So I'm like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. And, so we sit down, and the first game they set up for us is Mario Odyssey. Now this was
Oh?
yeah. Now this was the same exact demo from E3, so a lot of it is like we've already seen it, but it was cool to get some hands on. So Neil jumped in first. Then Justin got to play a little bit. Then
I mean, was it just one? Did they only have one unit available to play at a time?
for Mario, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So that was like that was docked in. We were playing it on the TV, and
With a Pro Controller or with...
this was with Joy-Cons because
I figured, yeah, because a big part of it is motion, right?
yeah, they said off the bat, they're like, there are going to be other play options, you know what I mean? But we're going with what the developers had in mind as they find as the optimal, optimal play scheme. So it's motion control. So I'm going to say right off the bat, I didn't play a ton of it.
Okay.
It felt good from what I did play. It feels like a Mario game. You've got your long jump, you got your triple jumps. I was able to take over a Bullet Bill and do a little zipping around, which was fun. I got a couple moons. What is a little weird is the motion control. Now, I know this is probably just a matter of like, I'm in a room where everyone's watching you play, and it's like I don't want to like putz around too much trying to do like certain movements. Now, as we've seen in the trailers, like you could throw your hat around and you could like whip it around, like do it where it's like a circle around you and you can sort of control it in the air. I tried to, like, those are set out by motion control, so you sort of gotta like flick your wrist to get it to throw out, which that's easy, but like you can actually control the hat once it's out there, and that felt a little to me, but I think it's just honestly because limited time with it. I'm sure if I sat down and played, I had a couple
first
hours.
Impressions, I guess it's not as
intuitive
obvious,
as you would like.
know. Okay.
Initially, like my thoughts are, I might try and mess around with the motion controls a little bit more when I get it, in October. But like as of right now, I foresee myself probably switching over to the standard controls.
Okay. I think I have to because I'm going to be playing this portably as well. And it's just like, sure, I can play tabletop, but, I'm just not going to be doing that all the time. Just like ARMS.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with me.
It's I will definitely try it, but for the most part, I probably will switch back. I got to go, I didn't get to actually play in New Donk City, but I did get to check out the desert ice area. I did get to do some cool platforming on, like when you go into the pipe and you sort of go 2D Link Between Worlds style.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I did get to do that.
And how does it look, man? How does it look in,
The game looks beautiful, dude. The characters, or like I said, I got to do the desert area, so you got like all like the Day of the Dead themed characters. And it's funny because there's ice sprung up all around, so they're shivering in the middle of the desert, and you're like, oh man, these poor sons of guns, you know what I mean? Now, what's cool is, as anyone that's sort of been following Mario Odyssey knows, each world is going to have like its own sort of currency, and with that you could buy, purchase different hats and different not dresses, I guess just shirts or whatever, outfits, different outfits.
Yeah.
So that I feel like is going to be really cool to just, sort of mix and match and sort of get different Marios. I believe I heard there's some sort of Mario Maker costume, which is great because I love that yellow.
Yeah, there is that the hard hat.
I think I've realized
they showed
in
that
the past year and a half that I really like yellow as a color because I love those Joy-Cons. I love the arms yellow. I love Mario Maker, like the yellow color scheme.
You're yellow belly.
I'm a yellow belly, but
cool.
Yeah, it's.
But overall, I mean, are you like pumped for it?
Oh yes, yeah. Like I said, it feels like a Mario game. You've got your jumps. You've got your triple jumps, long jumps. Jumping on Goombas. It feels like a Mario game. I'm super excited to see exactly what the exploring Cappy and how taking over different enemies and things are going to be. I think they're going to be really cool, and I'm excited to see how that progresses as the game goes on. They said there's just a ton of moons to collect, and what's really nice is, it doesn't, if, okay, I'm for instance, in the demo in New Donk City when Neil was playing, it was like one of the quests was like, oh, I'm trying to get like a band together for a festival. I need 4 people. So you go and you find each 4 people, and but say you find 3 and you look for that 4th, but then something, oh, what's that over in the distance, and you sort of get sidetracked, sort of like Breath of the Wild, where you know.
Sure.
It doesn't punish you and take you out, where in like Mario 64, oh, you found this other star, like, oh, we're going to kick you back in the beginning, and now you need to redo the rest of that stuff.
Right.
It doesn't do that.
Right.
Sam stressed that they were going for a very, like, you can go do what you want, you know what I mean? Like, it almost sounded like they took the Breath of the Wild philosophy and tried to meld that into a Mario game, and, the success we saw with Zelda, I'm really, really excited to see how that pans out in Mario.
Yeah, I mean, I really do feel like, and it's weird that Nintendo hasn't been kind of saying this, but I just feel like it's like, Breath of the Wild to Zelda is Odyssey to Mario. It just feels like it's totally still Mario, but it's just kind of everything we've always wanted. A huge open world and all crazy customizing and just wackiness and fun, and it just looks so great. It's just how cool,
Yeah, it's really, really nice that with this mechanic, it's like they could just sort of take whatever crazy, zany idea they have and just run with it, Like, it seems like there's no holds bar, like, let's just ramp this game up to, like, kooky, you know what I mean? Let's bring the kooky levels up and just have fun with it. So
Right.
that was really exciting to me.
I gotta ask you one more thing about the game.
Yes, absolutely.
The music. Did you get to hear the music?
Yes and no. She was sort of talking us through it as we were playing.
Yeah.
So it was sort of paying attention to her while trying to play. So I'd say the music sort of took a background.
Yeah.
Like, not like we were playing it on mute, but just with everything else going on.
What about the sound design, the sound effects, or anything? Did you get did it feel good? Does it feel? I mean, those Mario games are so amazing, how they sound and the sound effects and everything. So.
Yeah, like I said, it was really the sound sort of took a backseat just because of everything else that was going on.
Okay, so okay. Cool.
Jared did take some footage, direct footage of the game. So you could probably keep your eyes peeled. Granted, it's probably going to be pretty similar to the footage you've seen from E3, but that will be something to look out for.
I love hearing what people think. I really like. I was watching the E3 stuff and I was like, this looks so amazing. I can't watch this anymore because I want to experience it for myself because I know that it'll be way better when I experience it for myself. So I don't really like watching direct feed. I think it's important, to have and everything. And I know that I'm not like everyone, but yeah, I cannot wait to play this.
No, that was actually what was nice about me just only getting a brief time with it, is because I know this game's going to be, right in my wheelhouse, and more likely than not, it's going to be a fantastic game. So to me, it was nice to get, play, probably 5 minutes, like, okay, he jumps and as he should. It feels good. The environments look really crisp. I don't want to see.
Jump?
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't want to see too much from a game like this, because I'm going to play it. So.
Yeah.
Now.
Awesome. Now the next game that you played is a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time, and there is a new mode with salmon in it.
Yes. Now this game, Splatoon 2. Salmon Run, I did not anticipate. I thought I heard word that it wasn't going to be there, and I was sort of in like, okay, well that's okay. Like, I know what Splatoon is. I'm going to get it in, I think, less than a month at this point. But they said they had it, so I'm like, okay, like I'm down to check out Splatoon, the Salmon Run, and let me just say, this was by far the funnest demo I played at the event.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes.
It was so much fun. So, Salmon Run is like a horde mode. You get waves, 3 waves of enemies coming at you, and what you need to do is collect eggs, and each wave has a quota for how many eggs you actually need to get, and you can ramp up the difficulty. So when we first start, you start at like 5%. I don't exactly know what the percent was based on, but like she was like, it moves up. So we started at 5, and we did that, and so yeah, the enemies come, and there's different bosses. There's a bunch of smaller enemies that are just sort of like 1 or 2 shot kills. Just fodder, if you will, and like you can't ignore them because if you get a bunch of them, they will do some damage. But the bosses are really what you're looking out for. And the bosses I saw was, I think his name was like Ironhead or something, or Iron something. And pretty much he was a huge dude, and he'd shoot a big balloon out the top of his head, and it would come at you, and then like it'd blow up, and it'd do paint all over. But what you need to do is actually, like, as it's coming out of the top of his head before it launches, you need to shoot at it. And it usually, like, I don't think, at least I didn't get to, like, if it was just me shooting at it, it would always pop off. But if you had 2 people shooting at it, that's when it would sort of blow up. And then he would pop and die, and he'd drop some eggs for you to return to the basket. A couple other bosses, there was, like, the Rainmaker. I don't want to say Rainmaker because that's obviously an item in mode, but it was an enemy that he would just drizzle on you. So like it'd be like a big circle, and it would just be drizzling opposing paint, and you're like, oh no, because like it wouldn't kill you, but it'd do damage, and it would slow everything around you.
And it's like really scary. Like you're so like precious.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other. There was one. It reminded me, like, those like Chinese dragons or Japanese dragons that are like super duper long, like sort of like in Breath of the Wild, like those dragons.
Yeah.
It looks sort of like that, and it's just showering paint all over the place, and you need to blow up his tail. There was another boss that would just pop up from under the ground. So before he popped up, there'd be a ring, and like you'd be like, oh, I need to get the heck out of here, and then he'd pop up, and then you could shoot him. And it'd usually take 2 or 3 times of him coming up from out of the ground for you to be able to pop him, unless you had, multiple people on him. Mm-hmm. But regardless, this mode was so much fun. A lot of teamwork is needed because it is like, it's a pretty big map, and you've got enemies coming from all over, so it takes some coordinating. Like, hey, we've got, a boss up here by the beach, and you'd all sort of go over there and, work together. And if you die, you don't permanently die. You like turn into like a little like I think a little life raft comes up, and you can sort of like slowly move around in your paint, and you can actually pick up the egg and start moving it towards the base even when you're dead. You just go at a super slow rate, and what you need is someone to come over there and shoot you with paint, and then you pop back to life.
Okay. So that sounds really fun. I have 2 sets of questions.
Shoot.
One question. Are there different maps in this mode?
I don't know, actually. I did not ask that question. I don't think anyone else did. I think it might just be the one.
That seems interesting.
Well, here's a little caveat about the level. Is in between rounds, sometimes like it'll flood. So then areas that were accessible before are now, submerged underwater, and it sort of changes up how you play play that map. Mm-hmm. So there is some variety in that sense.
Okay. And then you say you have different bosses. I mean, those are like, they're not the same every time you play?
Well, each wave, just random enemies come out.
Gotcha.
So sometimes you get, a lot of one boss type coming, and then sometimes it's more varied, at least, from the couple of matches we played.
Okay. And then my other question is, how did you play this game? Is this an offline game?
See,
is this only offline? Is it only online?
This
Can
mode,
you play
you mean?
4 players on one Switch?
All right, so this mode, we each actually had our own Switch, and we played in handheld mode. So now this mode is local multiplayer, so you could, if you have 3 buddies with you, you could play Loki multiple. Wow, that's a mouthful. The old Loki multiplayer.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you could, say you only had 2 other people, if you could go into that mode with just 3 people. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, but I believe the other way you'll be able to play this online is it will be sort of like the Splatfests, where it's like, hey, this weekend, salmon run, baby. And it'll be a big...
so you're not going to be able to play this with... Well, I wonder if you can do private battles.
See, now, from what I gathered talking to Neil and Justin on the way home is that is not the case. You can only play it local or during the event. Now, that's super disappointing because this mode is a blast. I would love to be able to be like, hey, tonight let's go freaking hard on Salmon Run and just see what we can do, So that was.
So you're gonna have to move, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Get Dan to move
Okay.
too.
Yep.
So that's really was like the big drawback.
Man, we're never gonna be able to play it together then.
Well,
if that's how it's gonna be.
during events.
Yeah, but you can't match up with friends during events.
Hopefully they'll allow a way for that to happen.
Or maybe you can.
I'm hoping that maybe they revisit it eventually and hey, we'll let you.
Yeah. They have to do something. It's like, come on, this is an online game, that you want to play with your friends. I want to play this mode. No, but hold on. You said can it do 4 player on one Switch?
That I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know.
Did you ask any questions? Did any of you ask these questions?
Nope, we didn't ask that one.
All right.
Yeah, no, that
okay.
was just because we were in handheld mode. I wasn't even thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We'll have to. I wonder if we can find that somewhere online. We'll have to check that out. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly though, it was so much fun that I really, really, really hope that they look back at some way that you could do it with your friends because, like I said, this mode was just an absolute blast. Like I said, there's a difficulty adjustment slider. We started out at 5%, and Krista, she had mentioned that one of the other groups had done 40%. So I'm like, all right, let's do 40%, and we did it. Yeah, we were able to do it. And,
oh, nice.
And she was like, yeah, it goes up to 100%, and that apparently the devs said there's even after 100% there's some other kind of thing to do. So she said one of the professional Splatoon teams were able to do the 100%. But it was pretty surreal to just playing some Salmon Run with Crystal, or Krista, excuse me, from Nintendo Minute.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Just chilling, playing some Splatoon.
Well, yeah. So we got the big ones out of the way. We have a few more funs, but let's get one out of the way here that you played. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a bad game. It's just not as exciting. FIFA 2018.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Krista was like, hey, so do you guys want to check out Rabbids? We've got the Ubisoft Milan devs here, or people that could talk about it. We're like, yeah, that sounds great. And then next thing you know, it's 2 guys come in. We're like, okay, cool. Hey, we're here with EA talking about FIFA. We're like, oh, they conned us.
Yeah, they conned us good.
No,
and you're like, oh, hi.
Yeah, oh, soccer. No, I mean. I told him straight up, I was like, yeah, I'm sort of a lapsed FIFA player, It's I've played in the past, I haven't played recently. So they set us...
And they're like... And they opened the briefcase, well, we have the game for you,
yeah.
and
Switch, baby.
Yeah.
So they set us up with a pair of Pro controllers on the old docked mode, which runs in 1080p. It looks really nice, actually. It's not like a a poop looking version. Looks very nice. It plays like FIFA. Like I said, I haven't played FIFA since I think I bought FIFA 2014. Might have been 2013. It pretty much the one that launched with the PS4, and I played it for a little bit. But it feels like that. It feels like any other FIFA game. So it doesn't. It's not like a gimped version in the sense of how it plays.
Right.
Now, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't include that journey mode, but it does include the Ultimate Team, which they told us a little bit about. They also stress that they're like, it runs in 720p on handheld, but we got to play it in handheld mode too. It still looks good. I honestly don't, I think that handheld mode is small enough that 720p looks great anyway, I don't, that to me, that isn't really a downgrade, or anything to get upset about.
No, I think 720 looks great. I mean, as long as, I think it's HD, totally. I think that, Pikmin 3 is in 720.
Yeah, it still looks good.
So.
Like
it's a great looking, yeah.
But it is nice that in, docked it runs at the 1080. They were stressing that.
Oh, it does. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, in the docked it's 1080, but they were stressing this is the best looking handheld game, soccer game ever. You know what I mean? They stressed home that it was a handheld game. You know what I mean? They were like,
that's
we
cool.
built this around the idea. It's a handheld game. This, that, and the other things. So they're really driving that home.
Split offs. Did you try that playing 2-player?
No, they only had it in just the Switch.
Okay.
After they took it off the screen, they went into single player mode, and me and Neil just passed it off.
Yeah. No, I just figured that they'd want to show you, the 2-player with Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
So.
It does have, for anyone wondering out there, it does have the World Cup teams, the international teams, which is something that I like. I don't know all of the, clubs from all over the world, but I know Germany and I know USA, so I prefer to play with those teams, and they are in there, which is nice.
Cool.
But yeah, I left out there saying hey, this feels like a pretty legit, full-fledged FIFA game, outside of not having the journey mode, which, to be completely honest, even if it did, I can't imagine I personally would mess around with it all that much. I'm more of let's start up a season and just get right on into playing matches, But, I'm interested in this. This could be a game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I will pick it up at launch for full price. Maybe, keep my peepers out there, see if I can get it for $40 would be nice. But,
yeah.
I don't know. It does come out in that stacked month of September, but yeah, overall, I feel like I left with a more positive view on FIFA 18.
That's cool. That's good. I'm not really interested in the game, but it's if it's physical, and that means I can usually get it clearance, if it's not a good game, or if it doesn't sell well, then I can usually pick it up, for a cheap price.
Yeah.
So, which it'll probably happen, so. And like I said, I would be interested into it for the right price. I like soccer. I just haven't really played it over the years that much for video games. So
yeah.
But now before we change to a different system, did you get to play Rabbids?
I did not.
Was it there?
Yeah. So what happened was at this point we were getting closer to the end of our time. So we, Justin and I hadn't got to play Metroid yet. So we were we want to get in on that, and that's sort of when the Ubisoft guys came in, and they started talking about Rabbids. So Justin and I switched off the Metroid, playing Metroid. So in the meantime, when I wasn't playing, I was watching it on Rabbids. I didn't get to play Rabbids, but they showed off some more stuff, and that game looks awesome. It really, really looks cool. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I love the art direction. It's so vibrant, and it feels so Nintendo, but I can see the Ubisoft touch to it. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. I feel like it fits really, really well. And
for sure.
And I'm just excited to see that game, and like even listening to them talk about it, you could just tell like this game was made with such passion and like love. You know what I mean? Like this was like a passion project for these people, and to see it come to fruition is looking really, really good at the same time is really, really, really awesome.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm still not like 100% on the game, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll be picking it up. Like I wasn't 100% on ARMS either. Like 100%, you know? I was like 90%.
Oh baby.
And I'm at like 80%.
on
Rabbids.
I'm 125 on Rabbids.
Yeah. Cool. Now, it's time to switch over to some business with the 3DS.
Yes, I got to play a game that everyone that went to E3 didn't get to play. Although I think there were some behind doors demos, so not everyone. But I got to play Metroid Samus Returns for the 3DS.
Baby.
Boy, do I have some awesome news for you, Perry.
The 3D's awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
I'm dead serious. This is the best looking 3D I've ever seen on the 3DS. It is.
Oh, you just made my year.
Dude, I know that's the first thing I saw. I'm like, oh my god, Perry's gonna be so happy. Like the intro into it is like, oh my, I can't believe it. I'm like, this is why the 3DS exists. It is so good. It is so good looking, dude. It is so good looking. And you were talking about the sound design from Mario. The sound design in this game, ooh, it is so awesome to hear some of those familiar, like, oh, you got an item jingle, you know what I mean? And
yeah, whatever.
And just hearing some of like the original tracks like brought into 2017 and off the Game Boy, you know what I mean? Like,
woo, you getting me hyped up here,
dude. Oh, yeah, dude. All aboard.
I might have to play this game at night with headphones now.
Dude, seriously, it is. Oh, and it's so funny. Sam was giving us the like the demo, you know, and you could tell she is just the biggest Metroid 2 fan. Like she was just like the original, you know. I loved it, and playing this and seeing these things, and she's like, you know, we've got two of the original composers from the original game helping out with music from this game, and you know, it's just like it was fun to see how passionate she was about it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's funny. I was just talking with my friend last night about this, and he said that he got into playing Metroid 2 back on the virtual console on his 3DS. You know, he wanted to play it in preparation, and he was talking about how fun the game is and how just like the concept of getting all the Metroids. I think that's such a great idea, and I'm glad that they're revisiting, like, you know, it's everything we always wanted. Everyone wanted that remake, you know? So, yeah, it's cool to hear that from people, you know, from Treehouse too.
Yeah. It was so funny to just listen to her talk about it, because it was just like, she really, really loves this game. And like, it was just...
Would you shut up? I'm trying to play.
God dang it, will you stop jabbering in my ear?
You giblet head.
But, no, so Justin and I sort of switched off a little bit, and it feels really good. So, you know, it's early part of the game, you know, you're let off, and, you know, you're getting your blaster, you know, you get your morph ball kind of thing. And in the beginning, there's some slight instructions, you know, that pop up just sort of to give you the rundown. But she made a point, like, after this, like there's just this sort of brief little, like, hey, this is how you do this. And then they sort of let you go, you know, to be in that isolated, just figure it out on your own. And the free range shooting is cool. It takes a little getting used to, you know, but, you know, that felt really nice. The melee, like, counterattack is really cool. You gotta definitely get used to the timing for that. For me, I would try. It seems like each monster, or at least the monsters you're encountering this early on in the game, they were sort of like they have little tells, like they do a little something and then they come in at you, so you could sort of read the enemies in that sense. She said that, a lot of the areas were slightly reworked with, like, since you have all range mode firing sort of at your arsenal, which, you didn't have in the original game. They've sort of played with existing areas to sort of open them up a little bit, and, but, like, still staying truthful to the original game, not jumping the shark, but just sort of doing little things here and there to sort of, to make it a little more, accommodating to the weapon set that you have, So that seemed really nice. Obviously, you've got the map on the bottom screen, which is freaking amazing, because in the original, there was no map system. You'd have to draw it out if you wanted to have some sort of map. So that's nice. Now, they also introduced these new abilities called Aeon abilities. I believe there are 4 throughout the game. You unlock one early on in the game, and the first one is sort of like, it is, I think it's actually called the Scan Pulse. So it, like, you press A, and it uses a little bit of, there's like a little meter down there, and it sort of like pulses, and it shows you like a little like area of the map around you, and it like shows you blocks that you can explode. Now in the original, it was sort of like, oh, we just need to shoot at random blocks and hope, like, oh, hey, that one ended up breaking, awesome. But now you can sort of do that, and they like blocks that you can actually destroy sort of have like a faint glow around them. Now, what's nice is these are completely optional abilities. You don't have to use them. So if you want to stay more truthful to the original game, where you don't want to have the, like, I like finding these things out by myself. I don't want to press a button and it tell me. Like, that is still completely fine. Like, you can still do that. And as you progress through the demo, you ultimately end up facing your first Metroid. Unfortunately, this is when Justin had the controller. Or the console, I should say. So he actually fought the Metroid. I believe it's a really easy fight, the first one. She sort of pointed that out, like, yeah, this is sort of like to get your bearings of what's exactly up. No other Metroid fight is going to be that simple.
Gotcha. Yeah, man, I'm looking at screenshots of this game. I'll just plug another. I did the roundup of the treehouse with Sakamoto that they had, and I think Sam was on that actually. Now that I think about it,
I think so too. I think she sort of took the lead on this Metroid project. Yeah, like as far as what her job is,
Yes, and just looking at them, they look so cool. I mean, it looks like such an amazing game. The collector's edition comes with the soundtrack, which is cool. Let's not discuss the stupid European collector's edition.
How awesome that one is compared to ours.
Amazing.
Honestly, my favorite thing is the steel case that looks like a Game Boy cartridge.
Yes. Give me a break. Well, apparently this one also comes with a reversible cover that's supposed to look like the original. So I'll be all over that.
Yeah, I like the reversible covers.
Yeah, that's cool. But oh man, so fun to hear about that, dude. I cannot wait. And that's coming out when?
That is September, I want to say 15th. September 15th.
All right.
Now, what is
beautiful?
The most disappointing thing about the whole event is they did not have the squishy Metroid amiibo on hand.
Boo.
Yeah, we asked. They said that unfortunately they didn't.
How can they not bring that? That's so stupid.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but
it's so weird.
It is what it is. It would have been cool to mess with that, but yeah, they didn't touch on. I asked about functionality with Amiibo, but no word as of yet. But I mean, overall the game looks great. Like I said, the 3D, dude, you are going to be blown away.
Beautiful.
Blown away.
I know. And speaking of 3D, I heard that they had a 2DS XL there.
Yes, they actually. It's so funny. They didn't even say a word about it, but like I saw it on the thing there. So after Metroid wrapped up, I was like, "Yo, can I check out that like 2DS XL?" She's like, "Yeah." She grabbed that puppy for me. This thing is light, dude. It is super light.
Oh, cool. And it's like it's smaller. Like I was looking at a comparison between like the new 3DS and the new 3DS XL. Like it looks smaller.
Well, we actually
than the
she actually brought over the other, the 3DS XL. So we sort of went side by side comparison. It's definitely smaller, not a huge amount, but it is smaller. Way lighter, way lighter. It's got like on the top, it's got like a cool like texture to it, but it looks really nice when you open it up. Like those screens take up almost all of the real estate. You know what I mean? Like from top to bottom, which is nice.
Right.
And
yeah, I'm still not. I don't know if I like those rounded edges though. I don't think I do. But
it's got
whatever.
a stubby little stylus, which is sort of meh at best.
Yeah,
I mean
that's what made me not switch over to the new 3DS.
Yeah, it was like a short little fat one. It was it is pretty funny. But
yeah.
No, overall, I think
what's their deal with styluses? That's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know.
It's weird. Okay, but yeah. But did you like it? I mean, I like the color schemes and stuff.
Oh, the color scheme is amazing. I like that a lot.
Pokemon colors. The Pokemon Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun colors.
Yeah, it's got like I mean, I personally really like teal a lot. So like that teal and black, I feel like is a really really nice color combo. And then yeah, like you said, I guess they didn't have the orange one on hand, but I mean, if you're in the market for a 2D, like if you don't care about the 3D, then I think this is probably the route to go. So
for sure.
Well, but like after playing Metroid with that beautiful 3D, I was like, oh, I could never go back.
I know. I know. That's what I mean. That's why the whole thing is so silly to me, because it's like, but it makes it look so much better. Like to me, it's just the same as if getting like an HD console and then getting a standard definition console. It's like, well, I don't really care about the HD. Like, that's what I feel like people say when they say I don't care about the 3D. Because it literally doubles, like, the pixels and makes it look so much better. And it's hideous with the 3D off. So I don't get it. Like, maybe they don't feel comfortable looking at 3D, which is, I get that. But, man, it makes it look so much better. So, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, that 3D.
Imagine like Luigi's Mansion without 3D,
Yeah, no, like I said,
I don't know.
Some people I know out there, it bothers their eyes and they don't like it or what have you. So, I mean, for those people, this is a great option. It's going to be cheaper, it's going to be big, and it's got a really nice form factor. But yeah, I mean...
And you can play new 3DS games on it, which is cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I could totally recommend it if you were not into the 3D.
Cool.
Now, the last little bit that we did get to demo, which, again, this was sort of like a half and half for me. It was really sort of an afterthought. When she brought over the 2DS XL, she's like, oh, like, if you want, you could turn it on. Like, there's some demos on there, like, if you want to try. So we opened it up, and there was a Hey Pikmin. There was, like, Ever Oasis. There was Miitopia. So Justin fired up Hey Pikmin. So, like, he played a level and like a little bit of the second one, and then he passed it over to me. And I think I really like the verticality of it. It's cool to like, because at first, I'm sort of just paying attention to the bottom screen and what's going on at my what's going on in that general tight area. And then I look up and I'm like, oh yeah, there's tons of stuff up there as well. Pretty much, it was like the second little tutorial level, I feel like. So it was pretty simple.
Sure.
Just sort of like tapping your Pikmin onto things, to kill enemies and pick up stuff.
Do you move with your left hand with the circle pad?
Yep, you move the stylus on. You move Olimar with the left stick, and then you sort of tap to throw your Pikmin with the stylus in your right hand.
Cool. Okay.
I went through the level, it was like a couple enemies that were literally like, oh, I just tap a couple times, like they take care of that enemy pretty easily. then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I pop over to the other side. Oh, there's an item, throw that on there. They bring that down for me. So it seemed pretty easy from what I did. But like I said, I know this is a demo, so I'm sure it'll ramp up the difficulty a little bit later. Sort of felt like, like a Yoshi's Touch and Go a little bit. but no,
Yeah, okay.
I feel like it felt good. It stunk because it was in 2D. Like, I would have actually liked to have seen what it looked like in 3D. But
Except for it couldn't have been, on the touch screen.
yeah, it's true. Actually, does that game even offer, come to think of it? Like that?
No, it doesn't offer 3D.
Bummer.
Well, it can't because it's on a touch screen.
No, I know, but boo. They could have,
I
the
know, I
top
know.
screen could have been 3D. No.
Yeah, I guess. It'd been weird, though.
Yeah, I guess.
It makes sense just to not put the resources there.
But yeah, no, I'm...
But yeah, I'm going to be reviewing the game for NWR, so...
Oh, I can't wait till to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play it. I like I like whatever that company is that makes, I can't remember them.
Oh,
I like the Yoshi game and that they made for 3DS a lot. I like New Island a lot. So
who are they? Now
yeah, I can't.
Now I'm sort of...
Yeah.
Hold on one sec. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, look that up. I can't. Now it's bothering me.
Yeah. Oh, our Zest.
Yeah. It used to be Artoon, right?
Yep.
Zest, right? Yeah, I like them, and I think people should, give them a chance. Give them a chance.
Hey, man.
But I think it's gonna be...
If it's got Pikmin in it, I'm on board.
Exactly. So, well, that will wrap us up, I believe, for the episode.
Yes.
How fun that you got to play all those games in New York and talk to us about them.
Yeah, like I said, it was pretty surreal. Like I said, walking into that room and seeing these people, you see on stream in front of, thousands and on streams, hundreds of thousands of people watching, and I got to play some Salmon Run with Krista and Sam. We got to play and talk about Metroid and stuff. It was pretty cool. It was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
You can say we're pretty
awesome.
much best friends now.
All right. Well, good.
They're coming on the show next week now. Can you imagine?
That'd be awesome.
Talk Nintendo Minute.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's go. But yeah.
Yeah. So, ending the show. We are on YouTube and on your podcast on iTunes. So, check us out on both. I know we keep promising this, but we are going to be doing some YouTube exclusive content.
Yes.
And I would love it if you could reach out to us and give us ideas. Anyone listening, for something that they would love to see on YouTube. It could be a segment, it could be eShop Roundup, it could be news, it could be maybe just a game we've been playing. Anything. And it could be anything new. We want to do something new, fun.
We want to do like ideally it would be in sort of like a series or a season kind of thing where, we just have weekly content for you guys to check out outside of the podcast in video form. We've thought like Developer Dives could be a cool segment to have visually as well, throwing some stuff in there.
For sure.
We are brainstorming, but yeah, anything you guys think you might like to see us do or tackle, we'd be more than honored to listen to your requests and what you guys got to think, because at the end of the day, we just want to make stuff that you guys are going to like checking out.
Yes, and please, and if you don't want to give us ideas, send us your questions or concerns you have for anything Nintendo that we could talk about in the show. We can do another email listener segment. Those are always fun. So you usually get some really good discussions from our listeners. So.
Yep. Now, the best and easiest way to get a hold of us is at our Twitter, which is Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo POD. You can also email us at the longest email address ever, talknintendopodcast@nintendoworldreport.com. That's another good way to get a hold of us. But any way you want to reach out, questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything. Like I said, we want to make this the best show possible for you guys that are listening to us. So hit us up, and it'll be good times. And
sure.
If you have any questions about any of the games I saw, I would be more than happy to answer them, field your questions. So feel free to either hit us up on the Talk Nintendo podcast.
Yeah, hopefully he
Twitter,
doesn't go,
or you can hit me up.
I didn't ask any questions about that.
You shut your mouth. You jerk. You know what you're being right now? You're being a real Jim Brony.
That guggly man.
Guggly. Alrighty. Now, I thought this episode was going to be short, but in true Talk Nintendo fashion, I believe it's probably just about as long as it normally is. So,
Yep.
Without further ado, I think that's going to wrap us up, and we will see you next week, as always.
On the Talk Nintendo podcast. People who are behind in online matches will get items, better items to get caught up.
That sounds
You know-
good for you.
You
Dude, is this Aqua TV 2.0 right now?
Can I touch your body?
Yeah, please, my body is so ready, Reggie.
Good old fashioned leg blood circulation and bean bags.
Mimigwa or something?
Mamayas.
Mimima? Loki multiple. Wow, that's a mouthful. You never want to build the foundation on uneven soil. Play me, Perry. Play me. Corey's in the house. But we don't care what that Jim Brony thinks. My dad's beating Mike Tyson.